Good morning, glad you could join us. So today I want to share something about prayer. I think prayer is something that I don't know too many people are just like, oh, I am the best prayer person. Oh, just give me all of your requests because all I ever do is pray. And I think a lot of us question whether we do it right. Jesus said you don't have to be eloquent, don't have to use a lot of words. God's really looking on your heart. So that's a kind of a comforting thing. Sharing some thoughts that I'm picking up from Max Lucado's book, Outlive Your Life. So in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 12, it says, "You will call upon me and go to pray to me, and I'll listen to you." It's an amazing thing that God actually listens to us. I mean, of all the voices, it's just pretty amazing. Anytime you're dealing with like a celebrity or somebody who's famous, and every once in a while I'll be around somebody like that, and it's like, well, they know who I am, but I don't want to take up too much of their time, whatever. God's just the opposite. He's like, use up my time, come to me. So when Max Lucado and his wife Denalyn, they started out in ministry, they were missionaries down in Brazil, and they had a church leader down there who taught them something about prayer. And I think all of us have things to learn about prayer, whether we're missionaries or whether we're pastors or whoever we are. So he had met this individual who's one of the church leaders down there. He had come to Christ. He had stayed a year in a drug rehab center. So obviously there's some backstory here. And his therapy included 3 one-hour sessions of prayer a day. Not 3 one-hour prayer sessions per week, per day. So Max was kind of like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And he said, my prayers are kind of short and formal. And so this friend invited him, or Max said, he kind of dared him. He said, why don't you meet me? We'll get together and we'll pray together. So we knelt on the concrete floor of our small church. That doesn't sound very inviting, does it? You know, we like if we got kneelers at church, we like the padded ones or where you've got carpet. And we began to talk to God. Max is like, well, not exactly. I started to talk to God, and my friend here cried, wailed, begged, cajoled, pleaded, and he said he prayed like Moses. What do you mean by that? Well, if you go back to Exodus chapter 32, verses 11 through 13, there's the whole thing where Moses goes up on the mountain, and then the people make a golden calf, and Aaron says, oh, they just gave him their earrings and jewelry and everything and threw it in the fire, and out hopped this, no ownership whatsoever, out hopped this calf. So Moses begged the Lord, his God, and said, Lord, don't let your anger destroy your people, whom you brought out of Egypt. Remember the men who served you, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. You promised with an oath to them. He's reminding God of the promises that he's made. But I don't think Moses was just like, oh, Lord, please. No, I mean, I think he is crying out to God. I picture him not with Jesus, we have these profiles of him where his hands are like, it's like, I don't think so. He's probably on his knees, his hands are reached towards heaven, and he's probably weeping. You know what? God heard him. It says in the next verse, so the Lord changed his mind and did not destroy the people as he said he might. Wait a minute, God changing his mind? Well, here's the thing. Our prayers are part of God's eternal plan, especially if our prayers are in concert with what God really wants to do, then we're getting to play a role in the whole thing. Our passionate prayers can move the heart of God. Prayer does not change God's nature. God doesn't go, I was going to be super mean, but now that you prayed, now I'm going to be super nice. No, but prayer does affect the flow of history. See, God has everything wired. It's ready to go. But he asks us to pray because prayer, it's like it flips the switch and it turns on the power. God bless you. Pray, 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 and have a great week.